Hello, YouTube friends. This is Tracy. Welcome to CRRV. Tonight, pizza casserole is what's for dinner. Stay tuned and I'll show you how I make it. Alright, let's get ready to make our pizza casserole for tonight. We're going to start out with about 2.5 cups of the rotini noodles. We've got 5 links of Italian sausage, a 6-ounce package of pepperoni, a 6-ounce jar of sliced mushrooms, 1 large sweet onion, how many ounces is this? A 7-ounce jar of shredded Parmesan cheese, a 32-ounce jar of Mid's home-style pasta sauce, garlic salt, and we'll be using about a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. And then we're going to top it off with the mozzarella cheese. So we'll get started on this. I'm going to start by boiling my noodles. I'm going to bring my water to a boil. Then I'm going to add my noodles. It's going to go for about 9 minutes. Then I'm going to pull them off and put them in a colander in the sink and set them aside to wait while we prepare the rest of the recipe. So I'm going to get started on the noodles now. We'll see you back in just a minute. Okay, while my noodles were cooking, I went ahead and I decased my sausages and I diced up an onion in there. So this is ready to go into the pan. We're going to saute all this until the sausage is done and the onions are translucent. So here we go. We're using the same pan that we boiled the noodles in, so we have fewer dishes to clean up afterwards. Get this spread around in here a little bit. I'll show it to you in just a second. But right now, we're going to go ahead and chop up our pepperoni because I think that those big round slices are going to just be a little bit more than I want to bite off when I bite into my casserole. So let's go ahead and start working on those. I'm just going to stack them up a few at a time, and I think I'm going to cut them into quarters. There we go. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. Listen, folks, if y'all happen to catch a glimpse of my head while I'm making this video, I will just tell you now, do not be afraid. You will not turn to stone. I am not actually Medusa, even though I may look like her. It is windy and cold in Alabama today. So when I haven't had the hood on of my jacket, the wind has been whipping my hair around. So it might look like snakes coming out of my head, but I promise you, it's just little old me. Alright. We're going to keep cutting away here. I realize they're not exactly quartered anymore. That was my intentions. There we go. And we got one more little handful in here. I'll leave that piece in there. Now, there we go. And one more time. There we go. Alright, that looks good. We'll call that done. Now we just got to wait for our sausage to cook and our onions to cook, and I'll be back and show you the next step. Okay, we've got our sausage and our onions going there. Can you see that? And we're going to let it get good and done because we don't want raw pork in our casserole. So when that gets finished, may have to crumble it up some more. Probably should have crumbled it up a little bit more before I put it in the pan, but it's gonna be fine. We'll get it to where it needs to be. So when this comes out, we're gonna drain it on a paper towel for just a minute, and then we're gonna put it back in the pan, and I'll show you when we get to the next step. Okay, I have returned my noodles to the pan, the same pan. Well, I have my sausage over here draining on a paper towel. We're going to put that whole can of pasta sauce in there. And I'm actually hoping that I'm going to have enough to freeze and have another casserole in the freezer for a later date. So we've got our sauce in there. We have our noodles in there. And we're going to add our pepperoni. And we're going to add our cheese, our Parmesan cheese, that is. Whole thing in there. Done. Let that all get nice and melty. We're going to put our mushrooms in there after I drain them. There we go. Mushrooms. We're going to put about a teaspoon of red pepper, crushed red pepper. I'm just going to eyeball that. That looks about like a teaspoon to me. And we're going to add just a little bit of garlic powder. And stir all that up. And it's looking like we could use a smidgen of water, which is what we're going to put in there, 3/4 to 1 cup. And I'll let that, ooh, that looks good, good. And we're going to put our sausage and our onions back in there now. And stir, stir, stir. That looks good. You see that? That is starting to look really yummy. Alright, let's give that Parmesan a minute to get nice and melted in there, and I'll be right back. We're going to prepare a casserole dish. I'm going to put about half of this in the dish, and I'm going to put the other half in a bag and put it in the freezer, so that we can have this again at some future date. So we'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to get ready, and I'm going to ladle some of this into my pan, my casserole dish. I've sprayed it with some nonstick spray, and oh, it's starting to look good. I'm going to see if I can't just tip this in there. I may just be making a mess here, but I think I'm going to give it a shot. Okay. There, we've got about half of it left. Oh, that looks yummy. And spoon in the sink and get a paper towel and wipe up a little bit of that that's spilled on the edge there. And Gonna put our cheese on there. Use about a cup of this cheese. There's 2 cups in this bag, so I'm gonna use about half the bag. Yummy mozzarella. There we go. Spread it all out there. Get it nice and good little coating on it. And then we're going to stick it in the oven for about 30 minutes, just long enough to get our cheese nice and melted. The last 10 minutes, I'm going to turn it on broil. So we're going to start it out at 350. Let that heat up, and we'll see when it comes out of the oven. Looks good right now, though. And there it is, folks. I have to say, it looks pretty yummy. Let's see what it looks like when we cut into it. Ooh. Oh, that looks good. Nice and steamy hot. Put it over here. I've already got my salad on my plate. I'm going to scrape up that little bit that fell out there. Ooh, nice stringy cheese coming off with it. Oh yeah, that's going to be fit to eat, folks. So, I got my garlic bread in the oven. It's about to be ready. And we'll just chow down here in just a minute. So, if it's not any good, you probably won't see this video. If it is as awesome as I think it is, then hey, it'll be up in a little bit. So we'll see you next time on See Our RV.